Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host pin. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it while we can. All right. Woo. Hold on, y'all. Yes. What is up, people? What is going on? Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house. What is happening? There we go. We are good. We are good. All right. Welcome, everybody. How you doing? People saying, Tim, you got to raise up your mic. You got to raise up your mic. I want to. Let's see. Let's do it. Sorry, I just hadn't thought about it earlier. Says you're slouching too much, Tim Black. It's not good for you. They say it's going to cause you a lot of problems, brother. So, since that's something easily correctable, let's go ahead and correct it. What's going on? What is up with y'all? What's up, people? What's up, Johnson? What's going on? You guys ready for a show? Okay, so my name is Tim Black. I'm the host of this show here. No one else will be coming in to host this show. This is my show. We stream it on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays. Then we have, actually we do Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm sorry. And Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays we do Pause with Tim Black. So this is the call-in show, hence the number at the bottom. Now sometimes I make clips about the show and I still have the number there, but you can only call in on Tuesdays and Fridays. So there that is. So I got something. Damn, I got something on the printer. I'm sorry, guys. Gotta get that too. Oh yeah, this is important. Okay. So what we do on Friday and what we do on Tuesday, which is today, we got a couple news items, right? And not to cover the news for my people, because what we do on the Tim Black Show is we cover news and we have our flavor of coverage and the way that we cover it, because I don't know if you noticed or not, I'm a very adamant, passionate defender of black people in America. I'm also a supporter of reparations, a vocal supporter of reparations, as well as a black agenda. Meaning things like government contracts. I think a certain amount of government contracts should go to black small businesses and businesses exclusively. I mean, if you're going to hold us back exclusively, I think you should support us. I think you should give us work exclusively. I mean, since for so many years, hundreds of years, you held us back exclusively. So when I say you, I mean the government, not you personally. Now, if you did hold us back, you personally, well, you should have to give up some money too. But this is about the government, not about you. So what I got for us today, it's crazy, guys. I got these stories. They piling up. I still got clips from last week I haven't put out yet. It's been so busy. So damn busy, folks. So much news. It's crazy. Today I'm going to focus on Jon Gruden, the former Los Angeles Raiders coach who was disgraced and he resigned. Some horrible police out in Indianapolis who obviously, and I mean obviously, abused their power. It's on tape. I got a clip. A woman missing for 2 weeks and who's been found in a most mysterious location. We're going to cover that. And that's crazy because I found that story and then I saw that some people sent me that story. It's like, wow, we're in sync on this stuff. And I got a bonus clip. I cannot forget the bonus clip. Do not let me forget the bonus clip. I want to shout out, but before I get started, let me shout out a Tim Black supporter who wrote a very, very special note. Sent Mrs. Black, my wife, a very special card. And I want to let you know that we both appreciate you so much. And it was like a belated birthday gift for the wife. And that was the first time she's ever received any type of like, fan mail, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? Community mail or love mail, from the Tim Black Wolfpack. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. You're too kind. That was great. It was a great moment for her to get that. So thank you so much. Sometimes I don't think about how great it is to share that part of my life with people, so people know when they say these mean things about me that I'm a loved and a loving husband and a loving father and a loving grandfather and all these things, and people reduce me to like this small little thing that they want to say. It's like, so it's great that my people know better. There you go. Transversely, most of the people that are criticizing me, we know nothing about their private lives. Nothing at all. That's okay, though. Mrs. Black knows. All right, so you guys ready to get into some news? I want to say, we're going to make sure we're good. I guess I should have already done this. I should have checked my stream, but we're on Facebook now. We weren't on Facebook yesterday. I'm like, Jay, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what's going on? Facebook did not stream my show. That was crazy. But we're there tonight, so that's why I had to stop and restart the stream a couple of times. Tim Black's Wolfpack on YouTube. Oops, I got to jump. See, I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. I'm on YouTube. I just don't have a window where I can see you guys. So I got to put up the window. There we go. We got a few people out here today. What's up, people? They know I was going to have a show tonight, right? YouTube, man. YouTubers are some pressing mofos, ain't they? What's up, people? How y'all doing? What is up, people? How y'all doing? There it is. There it is. Booyaka. We're live. We're good. Now, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at here? Where are we at, people? Let's do this. First story I'd like to get to. Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cover that story. We got an update on that story. Now, as you may recall, Gabby Petito is a young white girl who was gone missing under very unusual circumstances, and it just became this thing that everybody on the news was talking about. I mean, it was everywhere. It was like a pandemic. It was everywhere. That's all people were covering, it seemed like, for a moment. For a moment in time, it was everywhere. And we call that the, what's it, missing white woman syndrome? Something? America has this thing. So, out in Wyoming, let me back to my screen. Where we at? Here we go. Boom. Back there. So, just so people realize what we're talking about here. 3 weeks. Her body was found in September 19th. Body found September 19th. And I think I got some slides. We got some slides. Okay. So Gabby Petito's body was found September 19th in Wyoming. This big park. Horrific. Okay. This was 3 weeks after her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, returned without her. So he comes back without her. They left together. He comes back by himself. And he was not cooperative with police. And no one could find her. And they couldn't find her card. And they couldn't find her phone. And nothing, just gone. They let this mofo walk around. He never cooperated once again. He went back home to Florida without her, and yeah. He fled on the 14th. They found the body on the 19th. So he fled just before her body was located. You just see in these slides, while they were out, him and Gabby, police pulled up on them because someone called the police because they were arguing and fighting. There were scratches on him, scratches on her. They did not arrest him, though. They let him go because, white man. Well, today, unfortunately, did an autopsy. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess it doesn't. Autopsies don't change anything. But here's the deal, okay? So the autopsy today proved that Gabby Petito is in fact dead. And that she did not kill herself. It just seems like they get paid a lot of money to tell us shit we already know. Ooh, really? She died at someone's hand. Okay, thanks. Amazing. All that schooling. All that money ran up just for you to tell us that she was killed by someone's hand. We know that. Turns out it was strangulation. And check this out, guys. Strangulation by force. Yeah, she didn't swallow an onion ring the wrong way. Another thing we could pretty much figure out. But I guess technically, you gotta get somebody to, say it or something. Somebody in a lab coat with something behind their name, some letters behind their names, makes it official. I mean, you wouldn't want to just go and lynch Brian Laundrie like you would a black man. You gotta get him due justice, due process, right? Can't just go grab him up and get a horse in a tree. And at this point, no matter, even though they found the body, even though they ruled it a homicide, even though they ruled it strangulation by force, the only charge on Brian Laundrie right now is he used her debit card and ran up like $1,000 on her debit card. Yep. Now, due to Wyoming law, they can't tell you exactly about her injuries. So that's part of the frustration, okay? They can't go into what really happened or what they found with the body. Now, remember, the body was outside for 3 weeks at least, give or take a couple of days. So you got weather, you got rain, you got humidity, you got whatever you got. Plus you have animals and insects in the natural decomposing process that takes place. So they had to identify Miss Petito, not by visual, by DNA or some other means. They did report this one thing. It says, someone reported this. I'll tell you who it is. Lawrence Kobalinski says, it's a very close way to kill somebody, the way that she was strangled. It's not like shooting somebody from a distance. Really, strangling someone has to be done up close. This is very personal. Yes. I'm telling you guys, people get paid to do this. It does tell a story about anger and hostility. Yeah, somebody was upset. Boy, I tell you, man, I know I worked too hard, man. I worked too hard. I'm in the wrong business. This was a horrible career path. I should have been a weatherman or a medical examiner or whatever these people do. Or just a white guy in general. That's what I should have done. I'm happy to be a black man, but I'm just saying they got it easier. Look at this shit. This is basic. Everybody's living well. This guy, they don't know if he's alive or well. I know that guy, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Now, I saw a short clip, and I don't really take this guy that seriously, or seriously at all, really. But he says he believes that the son, Brian Laundrie, called his parents and told him what happened a month ago. Before he came home, he said, look, Mom and Dad, something happened. I accidentally killed her. What should I do? They said, come on home, son. And that was it. And they didn't call cops. Now, that's what he alleges. I heard it in his voice. It was like an audio or video interview or something. With Dog the Bounty Hunter, who went down to try to find Brian Laundrie. Okay. So that's what we got. That's what we got. Obviously, I believe this man killed this young lady. That's what happened. And the racist America would not arrest him when they had him. Very racist country. Very misogynist country, okay? They had him. You come home, she doesn't. You got scars on your neck. There was a police report filed while you were out. I mean, what else do we need, guys? How did this become a big story? It's so obvious. It's not. Come on, man. Scooby-Doo and the Friends would have solved this in 10 minutes. But see, they had no problem finding white guys guilty of stuff. So that's a little different than the real world. Obviously, that's a cartoon. And in cartoons, it's not as racist, at least not obviously, not usually. Them old cartoons are really racist, but the Scooby-Doo people, they usually did a pretty good job. Obvious. Captain Obvious. Okay, next story, guys. Keep it moving. So we get to phone lines. Jon Gruden was a Los Angeles Raiders coach for the second time. He was hired back. And now he had to quit in disgrace. Yes, he quit in disgrace because some emails had surfaced of him saying very mean things, racist things, misogynistic things, homophobic things, Jon Gruden type things. Yeah, angry white guy things. I wonder what all the mean things that Jon Gruden says Has he contributed to the death of some people with his harsh words? This powerful man who was the coach on the football team in charge of all these people's careers? Or very, very powerful person? I guess not. So anyway, Jon Gruden's time in the NFL is over after emails revealed that he made racist, misogynistic, homophobic comments directed at Commissioner Roger Goodell and NFL Players Association Executive Director Maurice Smith. I think I got some imagery here, which is always great. We like imagery. Gruden. There goes Gruden with the LA owner. There goes Gruden. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. In one of the emails that Jon Gruden has recovered under Jon Gruden or with Jon Gruden's from his mailbox or sent from Jon Gruden, he called Joe Biden a clueless vajayjay. Yeah. These emails go back to 2011 when then President Obama was gearing up to run for a second term and Biden was vice president. Gruden also made comments on Obama, which were made to longtime colleague Bruce Allen, the former president of what is now known as the Washington football team. The outlet noted Gruden criticized the former president's 2012 re-election campaign. What else about Gruden? What else did Gruden do? Gruden signed a multi-year $100 million contract to coach the Raiders in 2018. So he lost a lot of money. In other emails, Gruden also denounced the hiring of women as referees. He criticized players protesting for racial justice. No, he wouldn't do that. He's a sweetheart. He also used a racial trope to describe the physical appearance of NFL Players Association Executive Director Demise Smith. And these emails, if you want to know, they were unearthed during an investigation into the organizational culture of the Washington football team. So some people are also saying, hey, what'd you find out about the Washington Redskins? Guys, I worked for the Redskins for a short amount of time back in like 2008, 2009. I can't remember. It was a while. And it was a very interesting job. It was during the off season, getting ready for the new season, and I did technical work, IT computer work. When I first got there, some of you may know this story, but for the benefit of those who don't know it, I'm from D.C. And most of my family are Redskins, are Washington football team fans. Well, that's our team because locally where we live, and we've all lived in this area pretty much all our lives. I've lived in the D.C. area my entire life. So that's our team by default. And we're older, so the Ravens wasn't a thing when I was coming up. It was the Washington football team, even though then when I was coming up, they weren't my favorite. Anyway, point is, when I first started working for them, I was very excited. I told my dad, I said, hey, Moose. That's what we called him, Moose. Hey, man, got the job with the Redskins. It's great. We were excited, man. You're going to be at the field. And it was great to go down to the field, the FedEx field. But it didn't take me long to find out that people hated that job. The Washington football team was horrible morale, man. People were like, people that worked there were like, why are you so smiling? What's good? You don't know this place. This place sucks. Dan Snyder sucks. The culture sucks. They treat us like garbage. And everybody here wants to get out. But glad to have you. It didn't work out for me either. So it is what it is. This is letting you know that this issues with the Washington football team are long-standing. So here's the thing about Gruden. He made a comment about Demise, about his face. Do I have anything on this? He said something like Dumborius, called him dumb, and also said he had big lips, or his lips were as big as Michelin tires, which is something a lot of white people say, like racist white people say about black people's lips and their noses and their hips and their asses and all this stuff. That's what white people do. Black people do it too, but sometimes when we do it, it's hilarious because we are that thing, that we're doing it. And here's the thing, guys, about this. It's amazing. I was looking at, so I looked at it on a couple different websites, and when I found this article covering Jon Gruden, there was one site that tried to take the edge off the racism and the misogyny. Guess what site that was, guys? Come on now. That's right, Fox, man. Fox was the only site that we're talking about a story about Jon Gruden. He's caught being a homophobic, racist, misogynist asshole. He even admits, hey, I really screwed up. He's a horrible. I'm sorry you read that. But this guy right here, coon extraordinaire, Jason Whitlock, he was quoted in the article by Fox News. And he gives him a pass, basically. He says something like, what do you say? Are we black men so fragile that Gruden's opinions on Smith's enormous lips can reduce us to tears? I'm just not that fragile. The opinion of white men just isn't that important to me. Yeah, see, Jason Whitlock is a horrible coon. He works overtime for buttermilk biscuits, and he loves throwing black people under the bus. That's why I don't respect people that bring on Jason Whitlock or who frequent Jason Whitlock's channel, who are friends with Jason Whitlock. Jason is garbage. Yeah, his punk ass would find a way to take a story where the white guy's on the hot seat and make it a negative about black people, as if we have the ability or the authority to throw him under the bus. It's like black men are the reason why Jon Gruden are out. No, Jon Gruden's out because he said something about gay people. If calling black men big lips was enough to get you kicked out of a job in NFL, there wouldn't be no more white men in the NFL, okay? If making a racist comment was enough to get rid of you, that'd be a wrap. No white people have jobs. At least a lot of white people would be on the unemployment line. There'd be an all-out civil war. You understand that? So Jason Whitlock is full of shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I don't care about Scoon. It's this guy Scoon, and we know why I got feelings of why they call you Scoon. And Kwame Brown, all these people that like Jason Whitlock. Jason is shit, okay? And you are too for associating with him. He is a coon. He's a buttermilk biscuit eating, handkerchief head, blow up doll for white supremacy. That's what he is. That's what he wants to be, and it looks like it must pay well. He's a sellout. Only thing I will give him credit for is his commitment to ninja-level coonery. So there's basic moves that the beginning coon might do. But Jason is ninja level, man. This guy does the level of difficulty in his cooning. Oh, man, this guy shows his commitment to stamina and precision. He sticks the landing on every fucking coon-type activity known to man. Any opportunity to coon, he never misses the dinner bell. He's right there, man. He's excellent at it. I mean, how else do you explain? This is the story. Jon Gruden, he stepped in shit, okay? Stepped in shit. He got caught out there saying some horrific stuff, saying stuff that should get you fired. You know, like going after the gays, going after the blacks, going after the women. Like he went after everyone. Going after the president, going after the former president. He got caught going after like 8 people. 4 groups and 8 people. And who gets blamed? Who does Whitlock come down on? black people for not being able to take more of a joke. Notice Jason Whitlock doesn't say, hey, gay people, take a joke. Michael Sam's wasn't a great player. Let it go, because he said something about Michael Sam's. That's the gay part. The first openly gay football player. That's what got Gruden fired, was his comments about that. His comments about women officiating didn't get him fired. But notice Whitlock doesn't go after those things. The only thing Whitlock comments on is demurious, not enjoying a racial slur or racial attack by this hillbilly ass Jon Gruden. Yeah. There it is. Horrible shit. Horrible. Somehow, no matter what it is, it's always black people's fault. It's always amazing to me, guys. One more thing. It's always amazing to me that every one of these groups, they love to compare themselves to black people when they're struggling. Oh, man, my job sucks. They're working me like a slave. Oh, when you call us that, it's like using the N-word. The way they discriminate against us, it's like slavery. Oh, they're making us wear masks like slaves. So these motherfuckers do understand the plight of black people throughout centuries in this country. But for some reason, when we say, hey, you owe us reparations, they go, what's wrong? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. You don't get it so bad. You use our pain all the time when you want to compare your lousy individual issue. But when we say as a group, this is what you've done to us, your government, you go, oh, I don't understand. I can't get it. I don't understand. Why don't you just stop complaining, black people? Won't you just stop complaining, black people? All right, moving on. Moving on, Johnson, moving on. Share this show on your social. Hurt some feelings. In relationships. In your relationships with these mothers. 1, 2, let's go to 3. All right, guys, I got some film. It's from the Indianapolis Police Department. There's an officer kicked a handcuffed man in the head. He kicks a handcuffed man in the head over disturbing the peace. I don't know what the guy was doing. In the video, he's handcuffed. So whatever he was doing, he ain't doing it no more. Because his hands are behind his back. And they're like 1, 2, 3 officers. So this officer has been charged. But here goes the clip. And I want to tell you, I want you to watch the clip for yourselves. Parental discretion is advised. And I want you to hear the excuse this officer tried to use to slither out of responsibility. Amazing.
But please use discretion in viewing is advised, especially with younger children. Thank you.
It's about you.
No, nobody cares what you're
No, nobody cares what you do either.
Not really.
You understand that?
Yeah, I'm not.
You
I'm not the
understand?
one. I'm not the one out here complaining.
No, that was a thing. Nobody cares what you do anymore.
I know nobody's out here
Nobody
complaining.
cares what you do anymore. You understand that?
Lean back.
Nobody cares what you do anymore.
Lean back.
How the fuck am I gonna lean back with the fucking you hold my belt?
Look, we're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this, right?
Stop. You're done. You're done. You're done.
Are we done now?
Roll over. You're done.
I can't.
Roll over.
I can't.
You're done. There you go. You're done.
Lean back with the fucking you hold my belt.
We're not gonna do this, right?
We're done. You're done.
Looks like a pretty open and shut case, doesn't it? Man's got his hands behind his back, and you step on his face. Well, Officer Huxley, the Indianapolis Metro Police officer, was charged with 2 felonies after kicking a handcuffed man in the head last month. Sergeant, not just an officer, a sergeant, Eric M. Huxley was charged with official misconduct and battery with moderate bodily injury by the Marion County Prosecutor's Office on Tuesday. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Chief, Randall Taylor, recommended that Huxley be removed and suspended him without pay. That's pretty good, Johnson. Give it up for that. Come on now. Give it up. This is a rare moment where I get to say give it up for the police department. Taylor says, I'm upset. It hurts me to see any of our officers treat someone the way that you're going to see here. There is no excuse for it. Now, here goes the details behind this. According to Huxley, or to the authorities, I don't know if this is his statement or what. The man that got kicked in the face, his name is Jermaine Vaughn. He was being loud and disorderly. You know, talking. Outside. Body camera footage show Vaughn was knocked to the ground and pinned on his back before Huxley stomped on his face. Huxley said, hey man, I accidentally kicked him in the face. I was attempting to put my foot on his shoulder, and I accidentally kicked him in the face. That's what he said before the footage came out. See why footage is so important? Yeah, we got to have footage, guys, so we can get the footage. Get what I'm saying? You catch that? Got to have the footage to catch the footage. Because without the footage, he would have got away with that footage. Now, Vaughn was charged with resisting law enforcement and disorderly conduct, making unreasonable noise. But the charges were dismissed because they were bullshit to begin with. Listen, guys. 2 other officers, Christopher Kibbe and Officer Matthew Shores, were present and placed on leave after the incident. They ordered an internal affairs investigation into the incident, which we found out about via a report filed on October 6th, according to the department's release. So that's what we got, guys. I just want folks to know, Wolfpack. I want you to know what we're dealing with. Handcuffed people getting kicked in the face because cops just don't want to, just because they can. There was no reason at all to stomp on this guy's face. And charging him is a good thing. Firing him is a good thing. Leave without pay while they go through the process is a damn good thing. All right, so I got this story, and it's so strange, folks. So I covered Gabby Petito, but I also want to cover the story of a black woman who was missing in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, we know Gabby Petito. We had to do a long looking for her. Everyone's looking for her, trying to find out what happened to Gabby Petito. Horrific story, 23 years old. Though I think anyone should have been able to solve that case, a very obvious case of me and you go to the store, you don't come back from the store with me, and I try to use your credit cards. And before we went, while we were out on our way to the store, the cops pulled us over for fighting so much to the point where there were scrapes and cuts on me and on you. You would think that the cops would be taking me in and arresting me and holding me till we get to the bottom of this thing. But not in the Gabby Petito story. So that's disgusting in a lot of ways. But it's also disgusting that only certain people get that kind of coverage. A type of coverage that would not be needed if maybe they would have locked up the abuser to begin with. But that's another story once again. There was a woman missing for 2 weeks in Huntsville, Alabama. Guess where they found the body? At the police station. In a van. In a police station van on the property. Folks, I'm not making this up. This happened. Woman missing for 2 weeks found dead in police van. In the department's parking lot. The family wants the video, surveillance video. And they should. Now the police have not released the video. Here goes her family. Her sisters, her cousins, her daughter. I think one of them was a daughter. I don't know. No, she was too young. At any rate, they were shocked to find out their sister was missing. They've been searching for her ever since she's been gone missing. And then on October 7th, they found her. They found that she had been dead in the back of a police van in the parking lot. No one knows how it happened. No one knows how it happened or anything. No one gets it. Okay? It's just crazy, right? Now, the police say the vehicle was unlocked and it was just sitting there. Listen, hear this out. The police believe, or their position is, hey, we got vans on our parking lot, and sometimes people get in them, I guess, because we don't know. Just so happened this van was open and unlocked. And one day somebody parked next to it, and then they noticed that there was somebody in the van. Yeah. Somehow they noticed. This woman had been dead for 2 weeks. I don't know when bodies start to smell. It just seems really fishy to me. What about you guys? This sounds strange at all to you? This sound like an up and up. Are they being up and up about this? Now, here's the thing that's cool about police stations. They have cameras. Police stations have cameras. Yeah, they film stuff. So, where's the film? Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear. I don't got to listen to none of the excuses, the stories, because I don't trust you. No, I don't trust you. I want to see the film. I'll even watch it. You can send me the film. I'll watch all the film. Because somehow, she got in that van. So I want to see her getting in the van by herself. And then we're all done here. We'll even apologize. I will apologize. Because I don't trust you. I don't trust you now one bit. Folks, we're about to go to phone calls. We're about to go to phone calls. Yeah, we are. Oh, but I got one bonus piece of material for you. This is amazing. I want to show everyone out there how hard people are fighting for us. Yeah, I want to show you guys just how hard Oprah's friend Gail fights for the blacks. How she has our best interests at heart. How she won't go, there's no limit to how much love and compassion she has for us, and how she wants us all to do better in this world. How she wants us to be protected, and for us to be prepared, and for America to do right by the people who they've used in order to make America this superpower. How our bodies, our physical bodies were used like cattle to usher in this America that we have. I just want to show you how great Gayle King is, man. Folks, here goes a rare piece of footage of Gayle King showing you just how much she loves black people.
this country now, and a lot of people say that they're impractical, they're impossible to implement. But, you know, my grandmother and that sort of stable, happy life you see her having is possible in part because she actually gets reparations. She gets hundreds of dollars each month from the German government. And I brought you one of the statements so that people could actually see that this is a real thing.
Yeah, but I'm so fascinated why she can be so sunny, considering all that she has seen, to see the death of her brothers, the little nieces and the nephews that clearly didn't make it. I marvel at people like that, and I'm so glad that you brought the story to us. I'm very fascinated by your grandmother now, and I heard that you took her to get vaccinated, Jody, in January.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, guys. The young lady there, the white ally, Sister Jody, she's there describing her grandmother and how her grandmother is such a great lady. And she's also making a claim for black people to give reparations because she's like, look, we hear a lot of people talk about reparations and how it's impossible, how it makes no sense. Well, I want you to know we give reparations now. My grandmother gets reparations. That's the reason why she's able to live independently. And look, here goes the paperwork to prove it. Pay really close attention. One more time. Pay close attention to what Gail does when the subject that the guest presents is about black people and upliftment and reparations for black people. Notice what Gail does. One more time.
This country now, and a lot of people say that they're impractical, they're impossible to implement. But, you know, my grandmother and that sort of stable, happy life you see her having is possible in part because she actually gets reparations. She gets hundreds of dollars each month from the German government. And I brought you one of the statements so that people could actually see that this is a real thing.
Yeah, but I'm so fascinated why she can be so sunny, considering all that she has seen, to see the death of her brothers, the little nieces and the nephews that clearly didn't make it. I marvel at people like that, and I'm so glad that you brought the story to us. I'm very fascinated by your grandmother now, and I heard that you took her to get vaccinated, Jody, in January.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
That's right. Good old Gail King. Good old Gail. That's right. Doing her best to keep her buttermilk biscuits nice and warm. Wouldn't want to mess up her money. Worried about other black people. That's right. Wouldn't want to mess up her opportunities to do more buck dancing. That's right. White lady tosses the easiest setup. Gail could go down as being a black woman fighting for her people. Hell no. Hell no. Not at all. You ain't gonna mess up that good job she got. She finally doesn't have to ask Oprah for money, and you want to come in here and have her stand up for black people and risk it all? Come on now. She won't be able to have dinners with Harvey Weinstein like she used to, her and Oprah. She can't hobnob with the celebrities. If you do that, don't mess up my good job. Shut up with your talks about freedom. These black people don't need no freedom. They need me. They don't need to be free. They need to look at me and Oprah. Look at us do our thing. That's what they need to do. Live through our success. Marvel at our fancy cars and dresses and stuff. Our $5,000 purses. Stop worrying about yourself. That's what's wrong with these blacks. They worry about themselves. Worry about me. What about me? I'm sticking my neck out here. You want me to put my stuff on the line? I got a house I shouldn't have brought. You can't go expecting me to stick my neck out and to stand up for people like me. Get out of people that look like me. Get out of here. I despise the poor. These are all the things I think that's going through Gail's cannibalistic, elitist, punk-ass, liberal elite, limousine liberal, political mind. This is what you get. Even when you got a white ally who came with receipts. She literally came with receipts to show, see, we can do it. Germany does it. Germany did some wrong shit to citizens, and now Germany is doing something about it besides making up crazy, giving them a holiday that they already celebrate. Now, they're not talking about putting this on their money. They gave my mama actual money. Yeah, instead of putting us on money or giving us Juneteenth or Hip Hop Day. Nah. See, we do it. It's possible. And we know, America, we know it's possible, America, that you can give reparations because you already do. And you already did. Native Americans got sovereignty. They don't pay taxes. They got their casinos. You should have gave them a lot more shit, though. I'll give you that. You should have gave them more. They got something. We got a boot. We got to die from exposure. We got 100 years of Jim Crow. Anyway. Japanese got money. But for some reason, something's, I don't know what it is. Could it be racism, structural, institutional racism? The stuff that the Republicans say doesn't exist? Could be. Nah, that couldn't be. That couldn't be because Trump was a president too. And he didn't change that. And we all know he was the only good one, right? Facebook. You got some other HBCUs. Okay, I need to bring on my specialist because we talked about HBCUs and this whole thing. Yeah. It's like always like, here you go, and then take other shit away from you on the other side. And all the dummies look over here. Look what they gave us. Look what they gave us. I figured it out. I was like, wow, that's nice. Oh, what are you doing over there? Don't look over there. No, what are the other restrictions Betsy DeVos is setting up that's actually hurting the same people you're giving it? You're not giving it to the students, giving it to the schools, but then you're also hurting them on the other side. The other side. We're going to go to phone calls, guys. This is crazy. We're going to go to phone calls. You guys ready? Before we go to the other side, I want you to see my latest promotional clip. Now, as you guys know, Wednesdays, Fridays, Mondays is the Tim Black Pause Show. Pause with Tim Black. It's also available in the podcast. I hope you check it out. Here's the clip. A lot of times I'm watching like news, or when I'm watching shows in general, they're written by white people. Even when the talent's black, the writers are white. Even when the writers are black and the talent's black, the owners are white. And even when the talent is black and the story is black, the subject matter is black, bleeding, black. For some strange reason, the most vocal writer is white. And I mean very, very white. And even when the writers are black and the talent is black and the owners are black, those three entities are worried about what white people are gonna say. So, you never really get to hear black people express themselves freely. Really free. And I said, damn, man. TV been lying to me all this time. So the point is, they lie to us too. Not just to us, about us, they lie to us about white people. And white people, they lie to you about black people. And they lie to all of us through the use of Hollywood, through the use of stories, and just plain old fibbery. Okay? So that's all it is. reason why I tell you, the Tim Black Pause Show, Pause with Tim Black, is where we get to be really black. That's because we don't have to cater to white execs. We don't have to get the approval of white managers and directors. No, we don't have to appease white people. We do it ourselves because they don't own it. They don't fucking own it. They don't want you to hear the truth. Get the realest black podcast. Go to timblackpause.com. That's what I'm talking about, Johnson. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So do that today. Look, guys, let's go to the first phone call. Get set up and go to my first phone call. I'll try to go in the order in which calls come in. Okay. Looks like the coast is clear. I'm going to go ahead and start with this 859 number. I think 859 has been hanging around for a while. 859, you are live. What's your name? What is your comment?
Yes, Freighter, Brother Black. This is Oz from Kentucky.
What's going on, brother?
And I ain't talked to you in a while. Last time I called, I think I was telling you about my dad was like ate up with QAnon, but he got coronavirus and he was in the hospital and like he had to go on a respirator. He was at 84% oxygen, and that's like flirting with brain damage levels, but he was able to pull through it. But he recovered, and when he got out, he remained stubborn, and like I got into like a really bad argument with him, and I just can't talk to him anymore. I've like lost most of my family to these QAnon lunacy, and it's really devastating, man. And like it's just absolutely insane. Like even before this, like he thought like the Florida condo collapse that happened a few months ago, like back in the summertime.
Right.
Like he said that was a Joe Biden directed energy weapon to push the infrastructure bill. Like that's the level of lunacy that like I'm dealing with. And it's like, it's like a living nightmare losing your family to this stuff. Like I have another uncle and I don't talk to him anymore. And like the guy's like this year he's retiring from working out in the city as a city maintenance worker. And he's just like, he's got like the socialism sucks sticker on his truck. And I'm just like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? You're retiring from being a city maintenance worker. I mean, that's like a perfect example of socialism. Like, and it's barest, like, you know,
right.
Just these people like, and they're circling the drain, but like, they're not going away. And I'm just like really mortified that the Democrats they're going to fuck everything up again. And we're going to have another MAGA type deal in 2024. And it's just like really horrifying, man. 'Cause I mean, like the level of like this divorce from reality with these people. Like I've argued with people telling me that they thought the George Floyd was all crisis actors. Like I've been the prison man, and I'm not. It's nothing. It's a humiliating shame to say that. It was for like alcohol related stuff, like DUIs and stuff, you know. And but like I've had knees on my neck too, and I've seen guards kill inmates, and it's just for someone to say that, it's like it's a million levels removed from reality. Like, and it's just I don't know, man. It's like losing your family to this stuff is like calling you. Like that's why I say you're my brother, because like no one else is listening, man. And I appreciate you listening. And sorry to lay such heavy stuff on you, but like I don't want to eat up all your time, but that's what I had to say, man. And I appreciate you taking my call, brother.
Damn right. Hey, thank you, Oz, for the phone call, man. Thank you, brother, for sharing your story. And I think it's very important for you to share your story, Oz, because I believe a lot of people are going through exactly what you're going through, brother. I believe that, and I know they are, because you can't be alone, man. I don't think that this is isolated at all. The thing that burns me up the most about it is there are people that are benefiting from putting your dad in this type of hysteria. You get what I'm saying? They benefit financially from it. And it's just how our society is built. Everything's about capitalism. Everything's about making a dollar. Damn who it hurts. So what if it messes up families? It makes people do things that are dangerous to them and to others. So, damn, brother. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Nah, man, call in any time with your story, brother. I think that it's a good shot in the arm to wake people up to what's going on. Because, like, even I, brother, because I don't follow the QAnon stuff too well or too closely. I got so much going on, and it's kind of hard to keep track of everything. And it's really easy to just think it's just people just caught up on the Alex Jones side of the web or whatever. But there are consequences for this stuff. And those are real people with people that love them and families who are caught up, who are collateral damage. So, and I mean well. You know what I'm saying? I mean well. And one of the things that pisses me off, Oz, and I'll tell you this, bro. When I talk about black issues concerning, issues concerning black people, reparations, black agenda, government contracts, education, criminal justice. When I talk about these things, they say I'm making all this money from it. I'm not. This is, we're funded by our viewers. Somebody's paying me to do this. And it's not, it doesn't help my bottom line. But you know how many times, how often I get people accusing me of grifting or doing something, lying, and trying to fan racial fears, trying to capitalize off racism. To them, talking about real life shit like statistics of black women missing, that in 2024, black women were missing every day. Actually, killed every day. I'm sorry, killed every day. That to them is being a racist. That is benefiting from racism. That is being a race peddler. But they don't consider Tucker Carlson a race peddler. And they would defend Jon Gruden and applaud Jason Whitelock for sticking up and saying, hey, black people, you just need to go a thicker skin and don't worry about Jon Gruden. I'm going to go next call, man, but I appreciate you, Oz. Give it up for my caller, people. That's an important call. That is an important call. Okay. 778. Hey, 778, you are live. What's your name? What is your comment?
Hey, Tim. My name's Paul. I just wanted to raise a critical question with you as well as with your audience. I vehemently disagree with some of the left-wing populist left political commentators.
Oh, hold on, Paul. Is this my friend Paul who called in before?
Yeah, I called in a couple of weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah, because you had me worried. I was like, that's my friend Paul. So, hey, guys, okay, Paul, my fault. Start over, Paul. It's great to have you back. Go ahead, my brother.
I didn't know if you would remembered me, so hence the reason why I didn't want to partake in such a discourse. But I appreciate the fact that you remembered me. But I wanted to highlight that I disagree with these individuals, be it the Kyle Kalinskis, the Crystal Balls, the Adolph Reeds, the Adolph Reed Juniors, in terms of the analysis that they articulate, that race and identity just creates divisions between us. And the real issues are the class issues, and these issues just divide us. But in fact, I would argue that race has already divided us. That's why systemically and structurally, all across the United States of America, the other side of the tracks look different from the other side of the tracks, such as in our major cities, be it the New York regions, the Los Angeles regions, the Tampa Bay regions, and even regions in the South. The reason why the other side of the tracks look different is because they've been victimized due to white supremacy in terms of issues pertaining to redlining, economic, educational opportunities, largely neglected, even from a sort of post-1960s world. That's where we get the critical race theory analysis, because it's raising the critical question, what are the de facto consequences of the decades of racial discrimination? And the consequences are the modern inner cities. So the natural question emerges is, how could these individuals occupy a position that race is merely creating division when race already exists as a division all throughout the United States of America?
Absolutely. I don't know how to answer that question,
The
Paul.
Adolph
Yeah.
Reed Juniors are guilty of this. The Kyle Kalinskis are guilty of this. The Crystal Balls are guilty of this. These individuals are occupying a position intellectually where they view whiteness to be normative. They view whiteness to be universal. And anything that goes outside the parameters of whiteness gets viewed as other. For example, we provide disproportionate funding in terms of Flint, Michigan, and the water contamination. We provide disproportionate funding when it comes to floods, when it comes to natural disasters in specific areas, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's New York. Then why don't we just provide disproportionate funding to the other side of the tracks in Detroit, to the other side of the tracks in Los Angeles? Why isn't this the main agenda?
Yes, it makes sense, doesn't it? That would make sense. The areas that are depressed should deserve more funding and more support, more resources. And those lack of resources are what create the depression.
The issue is here that these things and or perspectives in terms of deconstructing race haven't been brought up to the forefront enough, especially within the context of America. So, for example, I live in Canada, and we have an indigenous agenda in terms of our center-left Social Democratic Party. They have an indigenous agenda along with a universal healthcare agenda, because we got covered in terms of doctoral visits are covered, medical clinic visits are covered, surgical procedure visits are covered, but pharmaceutical medicine isn't covered. So that's what we're pushing for in terms of our center-left Social Democratic political party, the NDP. But simultaneously, and this is the important part, simultaneously, they have an indigenous agenda in terms of dealing with water contamination that's found on indigenous reservations, let alone issues pertaining to education, largely stemming from the fact that the residential school system, decades of racial discrimination, has corresponded in these decrepit conditions found in these circumstances. But our center-left political party is putting it at the forefront. Therefore, I want to highlight what you were touching upon earlier. This is not a revolutionary idea. For example, if the Democratic Party had a black agenda, it's not revolutionary at all. Like the caller, in terms of what you were outlining earlier, one of the callers, in terms of the clip you were showing, highlighted how Germany has dealt with issues in terms of their history as it pertains to the Holocaust, let alone even America to a certain extent when it comes to Native Americans, as well as when it comes to other marginalized communities. But for some odd reason, the issue pertaining to blackness just doesn't seem to come to the forefront. It doesn't occupy the normative position. It doesn't occupy the disproportional position. It doesn't occupy the universal position. So when these populist left figures, be it the Kyle Kalinskis, the Crystal Balls, they're focusing in on these areas, be it Kentucky, Virginia, and so on and so forth, the Rust Belt states. But whiteness is disproportionately represented in those areas. So whiteness is normative, it's universal, it's disproportionately represented. But now if Tim Black was to say, hey, let's start focusing in on specific regions in Los Angeles, let's start focusing in on the Bedford-Stuyvesant regions of New York, now they're going to say, well, we can't do that because that's identity politics. because it's going outside the parameters of whiteness. And the problem is that whiteness, for the longest time, has maintained a normative and universal position. And instead of these individuals challenging that default reality of whiteness for the longest time, maintaining the universal position, maintaining the disproportional position, maintaining the normative position, instead of these individuals like Kyle Kulinski, Crystal Ball, let alone Sagar and Genti, challenging this default position of whiteness, they're accepting it. They're accepting it and then engaging in such political discourse that focuses in on how whiteness matters more than blackness. And it is manifested with a lethal injection to the political discourse that these individuals have partaken in for years now.
Thank you so much, Paul, for your phone call, brother. I appreciate it, guys. Give it up for Paul. Another slamming, formative, detailed analysis, Paul. I appreciate it, man. And I will go a step further, just slightly, Paul, because you cover so much ground, brother. And I appreciate your input. But I'll just say, their focus diminishes the importance of black politics to such a degree. I would say they're anti-black, and their lack of focus due to their large readership and their influence over left politics makes my job that much harder. So I see them as my enemy. Not because they're not nice people, not because I met Kyle. Kyle was a decent enough guy. I met Crystal. She's a decent enough person. I even met Sagar. He's a fun-loving kind of guy. He's a nice guy. If you meet him, you wouldn't think it's a horrible individual who wants to perpetrate or perpetuate white supremacy and the destruction and degradation, but now neglect of my people. You wouldn't think that when you meet him. But that's exactly what they're doing. So they are my enemy because they have the eyes and ears of the audiences of masses of white people who I need as allies, who I would prefer to have as allies, right? I guess need is a strong word. Because let's face it, what we really need is to put pressure on our politicians to get them to adopt a black agenda, because we don't really need the people with us to do that. I mean, most of what gets done is not because we want it. It's because the politicians get pressured enough to do it. Like, that's really what moves the needle in America. Because if it was people that moved the needle, we have a different kind of country, wouldn't we? But what I'm saying is, I just want people to understand, when I say, because too often it's very easy to dismiss my complaints as thoughtless rants of a angry brute, as the person just picking on the nice white lady and the nice white guy who's pleasant. Why is he always yelling at someone? Why is he always upset? No, these people are working against our best interests, and they're not stupid. They know what I don't believe, Paul. I do not believe that they're not aware, that they're unawares of the effects, the damage that they cause. When I'm talking about black politics, I'm not saying this identity politics crap that they try to hang on us. That's not they know there's a difference of me saying, hey, we got black women going missing. We got 4 black women dead a day in 2020. And you're refusing to cover that. And when you do cover these issues, you cover them as an individual, not a systemic problem in our country. Even when they do cover the sensational story of police brutality or mass incarceration or something else along those lines, they always cover it as an individual one-off situation that is horrible and we need to do something about it. But they never talk about the structural underpinnings of it. Nor do they talk about solutions in the political sense. Instead, they run cover for their politicians. They run cover and give counter-arguments to why focusing on black people is bad business, which further undermines our push, not only for reparations, not only for a black agenda, but for humanity. So people, I'm going to leave it there, but thank you, Paul, once again, brother, for calling up and doing what you do. Make my life easier and able to articulate these issues in a way that is very beneficial to my audience. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Whew. Let me go to 919, man. What a night. What a night, guys. 919, you are live. What's your name? What is your comment?
Hey, man. What's happening? It's Josh.
What's going on, Josh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I called, I think, 2 days ago.
Right. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man. Good, good. It's good to talk to you again. I just logged on and saw you were discussing reparations earlier on, and yeah, I had to chime in, man. That's something I'm definitely passionate about, and really wish more people would speak on. I kind of want to add just to some of the stuff that you've been saying, and just kind of to that point in particular. In the past, I've kind of seen some of the discussions about like what that should entail, like what type of compensation that should be, how much, all these type of things. And I remember years back, I was listening to something from Dr. Umar Johnson. Don't always agree with him on everything, but this was a point I really liked. And he was saying that we have to kind of get away from the idea of just having simple cash as compensation, because cash, it's decreasing in value every year, and it is something that is going to run out, or has the ability to run out in the blink of an eye. It's not a resource that is going to guarantee us long-term returns or create opportunities consistently. And while cash can absolutely be a part of that, I think that things like land, things like resources, perhaps certain tax benefits, like you mentioned with natives, control of certain industries, like things that ensure that we're able to be in a better spot collectively as a group, not just for the short term, but for the long term as well. I really think are things that need to be added to the conversation, as opposed to kind of just a short-sighted view of just a check for today, if that makes sense. As you mentioned, for hundreds and hundreds of years, we were kind of put behind and not given, things were taken from us, our labor, our time, generational abilities to really build our communities. And whatever is going to be used to compensate that needs to be something that also cannot run out and can be carried to the future to benefit our descendants going forward. And I just must say that Gail video that you showed was horrendous. I'm really, really, really tired of this appeal to when she was saying, "Oh, your grandmother, her heart was so great and everything." I mean, it probably was, but act as if that is somehow an adequate substitute for actual restitution, or as a stand-in for actually giving her what was taken, or her people overall what was taken, is kind of ridiculous. And I see that sentiment kind of given to our people overall as well. It's best to just have a good attitude about it and move forward and, just try to see the bright light at the end of the tunnel. There is no bright light in that regard, unless you're going to cut the check, as you mentioned. And just this whole slavery was a long time ago arguments, or my personal favorite one, reparations is divisive. So slavery wasn't divisive. Taxes today, in general, aren't divisive. Trans issues aren't divisive. It's funny how all of a sudden we now want to frighten away from what is divisive once it comes to helping our community in a way that is substantive. And I don't know, just for me on a personal level, man, like I take issue and exception with this mentality that one-off successes or symbolic successes are okay for our people. I had expressed this passion of mine, like if I ever got enough funds to do it, but just to create like schools in our community that could be residential and could really provide people with an adequate education, like not just teaching them how to work for the machine, but how to build their own businesses, how to work together, how to be like technologically savvy, how to grow food, how to be self-sustainable, and in a community of our own people, in, for example, a college environment that I was living in, it baffled me the backlash I got of like basically saying that this wasn't realistic, and that a better goal was just to try to be a mentor to one or two people in the community. And, that happens all the time. And I'm like, it's cool to be a person that's going to help your neighbor or whatever, but especially just trying to reorient our minds to the collective as a group and trying to move our group forward is really what I was trying to get at. And having this idea of, at least we have LeBron James, or at least we have Barack Obama or Gail or Oprah, like, okay, that's 4 or 5 people. And you still, in essence, really have the masses from a wealth perspective in the exact same place as we were 70 years ago. And as a percentage of wealth, the exact same place that we were when we were in slavery. And so I just want us to and I appreciate what you've been saying this whole time, is really focusing on the condition of our people as opposed to how many heroes we have that are doing great. Having our community really move forward and be better overall, and not having this whole, some of us have progressed and have money, so like, why are we still talking about reparations? Reparations is going to help all of us, because we always talk about our communities having all this crime in the urban areas. That would fix that. Having access to resources and things that can really aggressively tackle those issues. And then for those of us who have quote unquote made it, or like gotten richer, or in corporate America, there will be more opportunities that our own people can create. So there isn't this cultural dependence on having to go outside of the community for opportunities and network and be able to kind of really have some of that talent in-house that we can benefit from. I feel like sometimes that point kind of gets lost. We think that it's only going to benefit those of us at the bottom, but in reality, it's going to help all of us as a community. And that was kind of just my last big point, man. I remember a point from Dyson where he was interviewed, and the person was asking what type of reparations would be good for what I'm asking right now, and he mentioned something like paying the black person double to cut your grass, or getting the black kid at your school a computer. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, like, that's charity, but what is the systemic kind of fix? And so,
yeah, I get it.
I don't know, man. I appreciate just your focus on these issues, and when people are resistant to reparations, it's in my view just an anti-black position categorically, and I don't really care how many people amongst our own community say, well, that's fine. But yeah, that's right there.
All right, Josh. Well, look, man, I appreciate the phone call, brother. I got to leave it there for the sake of time. I got to move on to another call, but I do want to respond to your call. And first of all, I want to say one of the most difficult parts of what I do, Josh. I'm looking at a book by Sean Rochester on my desk. Josh, one of the hardest parts of my job is understanding and being able to accept that being a good advocate or being a better advocate is going to I'm going to have to start looking at it from the point of view that people are uneducated. And I know sometimes that's going to be a problem, because sometimes it's going to be wrong. There are going to be people that are educated who are just assholes who call up and want to troll. But in order to do a better job of advocating, I'm going to have to assume that people don't know and then go through the painstaking process of informing them. Because not just for that person, but for the other people that also are hearing the conversation, possibly for the first time. Some people do not know. I was on Facebook just the other day, and I was talking about the GI Bill. And I said, as someone on Facebook was commenting that, Tim, it seems like you're trying to divide people because you're talking about solutions only for black people, when you should be talking about things that bring us together, because we all need solutions. We all need solutions. And, we should all be treated the same. You should talk about, what we can have together. And I explained to him, I said, it's very convenient now to say that. You yourself are from a group of people that got the New Deal, who got the Fair Deal, who got a Homestead Act, who got the GI Bill. And we didn't get those things. And now in 2021, I'm saying, hey, we need all our stuff because you got all the stuff. And you're going, hey, let's focus on what we should all get. Don't worry about what I got. Worry about what you get. or worry about us getting new stuff together. Don't worry about I've got in the past, as if people just popped out of a time machine and there was no people living all this time. And someone made a comment that they didn't even know about the GI Bill. So I had to go through and show them and drop them links from the history of the GI Bill and how it was almost exclusively given only to white veterans. Imagine being a black soldier who went to war for this country only not to receive the same benefits as your white soldiers who you bled next to. Imagine the slap in the face that is. And imagine that happening not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times that America refused to treat black people as citizens in the country that we fought and died for, just like they did. The only group that has been in every war America's been in has been black people. So we start breaking down these conversations, having that conversation. I realize that people do not know. Many of them don't know about the Homestead Act. They don't know. They have no idea. We wanted 40 acres. They didn't give us anything. They gave 1.5 million white families 160 acres. Gave us 0. So people don't know this stuff. So I don't know if you know this or not, but property doesn't disintegrate. It doesn't go away. It gets passed down. Okay? It gets passed down and heirs get it and their kids get it. And, so this is what happens. Last thing, man, when we talk about reparations, I'm open to other conversations about how reparations can be meted out. I disagree with Dr. Umar Johnson to a certain degree on this because I don't know what he's saying should be done. But let me tell you some things that don't work, okay? Dr. William Sandy Darity, he's a professor at Duke, okay? So please look him up. He talks about reparations. He's an economist, and he discusses these issues in very much detail, in granular detail. He has a book called From Here to Equality. We need to know the data and know the facts. But here's just a couple of things, real quick, guys. What's not going to work is education. Education won't work because even if you give black people reparations in the form of education, that doesn't mean that's going to translate into actual income or actual wealth. Actual wealth. What we have is a wealth gap. That's not going to change because you give me a degree. Black people have degrees now. Okay? But the average college graduate is worth less than the average white high school dropout. That's what wealth does. So what are we trying to do, Dr. Umar? Are we trying to better black people's lives, or are we trying to get them a piece of paper? Because that piece of paper is not bettering lives for everyone. It's not business, because if you just give black people businesses without the ability to fund those businesses, black people are very entrepreneurial. We start businesses all the time, but we fail because we're underfinanced. Without the proper financing in place, it's really hard to keep a business afloat. I know that intimately. So that's not going to do it. Don't say it's savings. Adjusting for the amount of money we have, we save as much or as more as our white counterparts. We just have less to save. And we don't have the ability to invest in higher risk and higher return investments, such as stocks and other assets. So it's not education, it's not business, it's not savings. So it's got to be the form of money. Nothing spends like money. Now, if you can come up with another instrument of exchange that will accrue in wealth, will continue to grow, I'm for it. But just know that money has to be part of the equation. I'm not saying it has to be totally money, but it has to be part of the equation. Because those other things, these other solutions people keep coming at me with, they're saying things because they think they're more doable. What good is something getting done if it's not the solution to the problem? A problem is not just, hey, we need stuff. A problem is not just, hey, we were discriminated against. A problem is the effect of those things, the effect of that discrimination, the income, the wealth gap. The wealth gap. Average black family is worth 10 cents, 10% of the average white family. Even when you adjust and take off the top earners like Bill Gates, take those people out of the equation. So we want to solve that problem. People are trying to solve problems that we're not trying to solve. They're trying to solve problems that don't solve the racial wealth gap problem. And in a country like America that's very expensive, that matters. So I'm going to go to the next call, guys. I appreciate it. Please consult. Look up William Sandy Darity. Pick up his book. I have it. It's very informative. There's a study. There's a paper out there called What We Get Wrong about the racial wealth gap. And he goes through all these points. The points I made are taken from that document. All right, guys. 559, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Oh man, Brother Tim, it's Brother Eric. I almost feel unworthy to follow the previous two, but no, how you doing, man? You sound good, and I'm in the middle of tax season, getting toward the end of the last filing deadline, but just wanted to chime in with a couple things, and probably the hardest thing to get past is the weaponization of things. And boy, there's a lot of it. I mean, I heard people reference, like the Kalinskis and them. And I mean, it's not that this stuff's not talked about. The funny thing is that it's talked about a lot. The problem is that it's being weaponized. I mean, it's kind of like, somebody that calls you a derogatory name or says, hey, blankety blank, you ought to be eating this, that's actually good for you. Well, I mean, they're doing it for all the wrong reasons. But, do they kind of have a point? Again, now, because they have a point doesn't mean that it makes them, oh, well, yeah, they're good people. No, they're not at all, because that's not why they told you that. But then, why I like your show is that, hey, people can get things off their chest. This is the frustrations that we have. This is what, we want to get off our chest because we can't say it anywhere else. And now we can actually start talking about, okay, what do we got? What are the pieces? What are the moves that we can make? What's the board look like? Because at the end of the day, the people that kind of that troll you, they remind me of somebody that, okay, so hey, we're throwing a birthday party for Tim. It's Tim's birthday party. And then these guys will come in, late and say, well, Sarah has a birthday party too. Whoa. Okay, this is Tim's. Well, John has a birthday too. Why can't we? Wait a minute. We're celebrating, and see, that's how I see, what you're talking about. Why, because if you can't see similarity in the things that you're talking about, that's the one thing that I think people miss about, like what Chappelle said. Probably the most profound thing that you don't hear anybody talking about is that the exchange that he had with that Daphne, because he said, hey, I don't really understand what you're saying. And she looked him dead in the eye and said, what? She said, I don't need you to get it. I just need you to believe that I'm a human being going through it.
Yeah.
Damn it. And that's the point, right? Hey, because the only way we're going to get through this is together. The only way we're going to get what we need is together. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're poisoning stuff as it is. I mean, and let's not get too hung up on let's just call it irrelevant. Because remember Deepwater Horizon? The oil rig that exploded and killed 11 people. People probably don't even know probably doesn't even know their names or give a shit about the people. But you know what caused stuff to be paid attention in the state legislature in Louisiana was an oil-soaked state bird, a picture of an oil-soaked state bird. What's the state bird of Louisiana? A pelican, not a human being. Nobody gave a fuck about the people that died. And that's the one thing that we have to get over. And hey, there may be reasons for that, but you know what? If that's what sparked it, and got it out there, then damn it, you know what? Fine. whatever it takes, because then we're going to take it the rest of the way. We just need to get that in the door, right? That's the biggest, that's the hardest thing. And then all of a sudden, when it's there, hey, now there we go. And now we're just, we go to town and we have, very clearly defined things that we're asking for that we want. It's like, the Line 3 pipeline that they're still trying to build up here, through the reservations. I bet people don't even, probably haven't even gone on that. And that's, sovereignty, right? Well, they don't give a shit. They're going to try to do it anyway. So together, guys, and that's the point. Just, just a thought. So
yeah,
I'll leave it at that.
Brother Eric, thanks for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Together, brother, together. Yeah, I don't know what it is with America and animals. Don't care much about the people, but the animals, man, Jesus Christ. Now, I get it with black people because they want you to believe that everything bad that happens to black people is because we brought it on ourselves. Yeah, that's where that happens. So, animal can bring bad things onto themselves. Animals are not at fault for anything. So that's probably what it is. America spends so much time demonizing folks. Demonizing the poor, demonizing the blacks. (973) You're live, 973. What's your name? What is your comment?
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
Hey.
I'm gonna be real brief. This Najee from New Jersey. I was just thinking about what made me call was the caller that talked about the other side of the track, and I was listening to it was the last member of the Corner Commission, and much hasn't changed since then. And what was real interesting, the conclusion of the Corner Commission, it states that our nation is moving towards two societies, one black, one white, mainly, one with wealth, one without wealth. And this was the conclusion of the Corner Commission. And the Corner Commission also put a number on how to solve this problem. But Lyndon B. Johnson and other administrations after Lyndon B. Johnson didn't take heed to this to the Corner Commission, and it also and now mind you, this is during the time when we were spending hundreds of billions of dollars during the Vietnam War, and the suggestion from the Corner Commission was maybe about a tenth of that. So it's like, the hell with the Negroes. Let's spend money on bombs instead of fixing the racial problem. And then, a couple weeks ago, I want to say that was last week, when that caller went on his rant about, you not speaking about, black on black crime. And, he just went on his rant. You asked him questions, and he was just still talking. It irritated me because when people like him call and they speak, again, they speak as if Black America has these like separate institutions from every other community that just can fix problems. Like, we have our own judicial system. We have our own mechanisms for reward and punishment. We're in America. Like, Black America doesn't have its own separate institution that can snap his fingers and solve these problems. But again, like I said, I would suggest that, people start with the Corner Commission and really read those suggestions. So, and also that basically reinforces everything that you get up here and you speak about when you say cut the check, because that was in the antidote of solving the problem in America between black and white, and it was wealth disparities. And we're talking about years later, we haven't really changed. We haven't really moved much from that report. That Lyndon B. Johnson put together, and it just gets real interesting. And then and I'm gonna close with this. I know you say like, people need to be educated, people are ignorant. But me personally, black people are most ignorant about race in America. White people aren't that ignorant. I just don't believe it. Because there was this documentary that this guy was doing. And next time I call, I get you the documentary. But they was talking about, some kind of racial terrorism that, they was in Mississippi. They was terrorizing this black guy. So in the midst of this guy doing a documentary, he was looking at the photos of the would-be white rioters, and he noticed his Uncle Ted in the midst of him doing the riot. And he went back to his aunt. He said, "Wait a minute, that's Uncle Ted." "Oh, get out of here. That ain't Uncle Ted." "No, that's Uncle Ted." So, you understand what I'm saying? So my thing is this. There's an Uncle Ted in the family that that was terrorizing black people, but it's kind of silent in the family. So again, white people are not ignorant about racism in this country. You cannot hold up a system for this long and this strong and be ignorant. I close.
Wow. Give it up for Najee, y'all. Thank you, brother, for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. Now, absolutely good point. And this is like, I've been learning like maybe I need to be a little bit more descriptive with my communication skills. Because I'm not saying they don't know about racism, brother. But a lot of the, for instance, I don't think the majority, I think people could be more informed about things that have happened historically, major events. Like, I do not believe most people know about Tulsa race riots. I'm sorry, massacre. Like, I don't think most people know about these incidents. Now, the people of Tulsa, like when I had the Dr. Reverend Robert Turner on the show, he was like, black people don't even want to talk about it. For fear of reprisal in those homes. People in Oklahoma wouldn't even talk about it. In Tulsa, would not even discuss it for fear they'd be attacked on the street. So it's like this thing that happened that no one can discuss. Hundreds of black people murdered by white people. Hundreds. They dropped bombs and flattened the city. What was it? 20 blocks of businesses. They destroyed people's homes, robbed them, destroyed their homes, and killed them, threw their bodies in unmarked graves. No one went to jail. But yeah, I agree with you. I think people, in fact, you're right. I think when people say they don't know about racism, they are full of shit, brother. If you live in America, if you are of a certain age, even if you're young, even kids know something. They're aware something's going on. Once you hit like 10, they start getting it. Like, I think kids know. So yeah, I'm not Najee. I'm not suggesting that there's grown ass white people walking around that don't know how America works. America runs on racism. We're the fuel that keeps the cars going. But when it comes to some of the actual occurrences throughout history, I don't think it's been beneficial for white people to communicate those things. You know what I'm saying? To black people, let alone white people. I'm going to go to the next call, man. I appreciate you, though. 808, you are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Yo, what's going on, Tim Black? It's Will from Hawaii.
What's up, Will?
I got to push back a little bit on the last call, and I don't think that what I'm pushing back on is all that much of a difference of opinion, but it is a little bit of a difference of opinion. So I grew up in an area of Detroit called the Cass Corridor, and went to one of the largest high schools at the time in the country. But everything that revolved around the auto industry. In the high school I went to, the neighborhood I lived in, everyone had the same size house. Everyone had the same things. People worked at the same factory. In the factory that my father worked at and everybody in my neighborhood worked at, were just located on one side of a certain factory. On the other side of the plant was a totally different neighborhood, but very, very integrated high school, very integrated lifestyle. And yeah, there were blowups. I cannot deny that, but overall, my classmates and everybody I grew up with were my friends. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything different. So, in the late 80s, we had these mass closures of these massive plants. I mean, these plants are massive. I mean, taking up tens of thousands of acres. They're huge. And so when these plants close, everything around these plants, because everything is based on the economy of these plants, all of a sudden the value of everything around them, the property values of an individual home, go to zero.
Wow.
So the property's values go to zero. And all of a sudden you look at, like I was saying, I went to one of the largest high schools in the country. That every high school in the Cass Corridor instantly, all in one fell swoop, closed down. Why? Because the quality of the high school depends on the value of the properties that surround it. And when the plant closes and everything closes around it, all the property values go to zero. So I left. I had left right after I graduated and joined the military, and stayed in the military for the next almost 17 years. So I didn't get to see firsthand how things broke down. And for me, it was crushing to finally go back and see what had happened. Now, what I didn't understand, and I'm an educated human being, and this is nothing anybody taught me. This is something I've only sort of started piecing together over the last few years. And it's something that I did not understand. So my family in particular, in most of the people that lived in the area that I grew up were, descendants of one or two generations of immigrants, mostly Polacks I can say Polacks because that's part of my heritage is Polish, Lithuanian and Blacks. And what I never understood or it took me a long time and only recently, only the last maybe couple of years or so that I've been able to sort of understand this, is the idea that, where these people that lived in my neighborhood had come from and how some people got out and how some people did not. Now, you had a great migration to Detroit at one point in time, and they were fleeing the South. And so that wasn't an option for them to go back to. My family in particular, I can speak for my family and several other families that I know. My family went down south to seek out jobs and to seek out employment, which was not an option to go to Florida or Texas or Georgia or South Carolina, where suddenly things were starting to open up industrial-wise, where they needed workers that had the skills and talents that people had in the auto industry. Blacks did not have that option. They were stuck in this place where everything, the entire value of the neighborhood that we had went to zero. And I mean, it's so bad, Tim. Even now, to a degree, things are starting to get gentrified in certain areas because everything is dirt cheap and people can buy up an entire neighborhood for the price of a fraction of back taxes. So it's not like it's for the people. Right. But people were stuck there. They turned off the grid, the electrical grid. They turned off water because it didn't behoove the city, which went bankrupt, to keep these things open. So what are you supposed to do, as a black individual who has established a life for generations, made a decent living, had a decent home, a decent family? What are you supposed to do when every single thing is taken away from you?
Damn.
And now I'm talking about this is beyond the original sin of America. This is beyond it. This is people who actually, risked their lives, came up north, found a place that they could actually do something and thrive and survive. And all of a sudden, all of that is taken away with you in you don't have the option, like my family had the option, to move somewhere else and have the opportunity, because that place was the place that maybe your grandfather, your great-grandfather had just fled from. So when I say I push back, I push back because, this isn't something they teach you in school. This isn't something you find out as a member of the best and the brightest. In fact, I've pushed back several times calling in to you on the whole concept of the best and the brightest, because they are the best and brightest because it is deemed so. It doesn't mean that they have the most information. The Kyles, in the Saugers, in all of those folks, it's not that they have the best information. They are taught a certain way to understand things, and they've been told they're the best and brightest ever since they left high school, and they believe in their souls. You can look at Sauger, Brianna Joy Gray, and any other Cenk Uygur. You can take those three people, all of different backgrounds, different colors, different nationalities, and they all have the same theme about them. And my belief personally is that it comes from the education system that they are indoctrinated to. And no other solution can be correct except the one that they were taught, and they are the best and the brightest. That's just a little background, Tim. I do appreciate, and like I said, maybe what I'm just saying now, there's something wrong in what I'm saying. And this is why I push back. I'm not a young man like you. I'm 54 years old, and I am still learning. I'm still striving to learn things. And I thank God that I found you. I thank God that I found Reset Race. I thank God that I found Dr. Darity. I thank God that I found Cornell West, because I have learned so much. And my whole thing is, it is because I grew up in an environment where my best friends, the people I love, my neighbors, I no longer have contact. It doesn't exist anymore. And it makes me very sad. I'm very hurt by it. And to be able to understand how this happened, why this happened, and to open my eyes a little bit day by day, I thank God for every time I wake up and a new thought pops into my head that I can investigate. And I do appreciate you, Tim. You know I appreciate you. And thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Will. My brother, William, give it up for him. Hawaii in the house. Wow, what a conversation, man. I don't see the stark difference in the point of views that you express or Najee express. I think they both make sense, and slight differences, but not total. I think you both make valid points, and thoughtful consideration given by each caller. So I appreciate both of you, frankly, and you make the show better with your analysis and your thoughts. As long as it's sincere, it comes from a good place, and it's in a spirit of sharing. I think it works. It works for the show. It works for my viewers. I think that the predicament of those people, man, in Detroit, man, or in Michigan, that's horrible, brother. That's tough. Tough for people to have to go through that. And what does life look like when everything that you have is taken from you like that? Devastating. Capitalism, man. Capitalism. Gosh, man. We cleared the queue, which is always the number one goal of the Tim Black Show, is making sure everybody is doing our best to get all the callers in, because the callers sit online and they wait an opportunity to speak. And it's great when we give them an opportunity. Give a shout out to all my callers, y'all. Come on now. Yes. So, tomorrow, I will come to you with at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, another edition of Pause with Tim Black. We'll take some issues and talk about those, and that's going to be dope. Not exactly sure what the topic's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be a banger, because that's the only way that I deliver it. What else? Just a good show. Not to think about, guys. Not to think about. So I want to thank all my people that subscribe to this show, who follow this show. Please continue to follow this show. Also, don't forget to go to jointimblack.com, become a member. It's $5. Starts at $5. It could be more than $5. It's on you, but it starts at $5 a month. So, a lot of people. Thank you for my moderators who take time out of their lives to make the show possible, to try to keep it civil. I appreciate you. Things have been very contentious in the comment sections over the last couple of days. We've had people visiting because of the subject matter. They're not really part of the community. And I get it. They don't know us. We don't know them. So I want to give a shout out to my moderators trying to keep it civil. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Because we've had disagreements, not full-on brawls, and, we haven't had any drive-bys in the shootings in the comment sections. I see some comment sections where
90 seconds.
I see comment sections where bodies were strewn everywhere. Bullet holes, knife wounds, kids running around in diapers, dirty, and bunch of just nasty. We didn't have that, you know what I'm saying? So that's dope. That's dope. Luis says, I'm an ally till I die. What? Give it up for Luis, man. Luis Wilkes. That's what I'm talking about.
60
Molly the
seconds.
Content Boutique, David Melford, Lady Jackie, Anthony Lamont, Nat A. My people, my people, my people. What I love about it is no matter how crazy things get in these internet streets, I can always come back home. Tim Black's Wolfpack is where my home is. So no matter what's happening, people don't get that. We built this show a decade strong with people, now with corporations, special interest groups, good old-fashioned love and people. That's it, man. So that's something to be damn proud of, and I'm damn proud of it.
10 seconds.
I'm proud of it. What else? Oh, Facebook, thank you, guys. We still got Facebook running. Facebook's still running, people. Got a few people on Facebook. Thank you. Good night, Susan, Nigel, Junius, Gladys. Lana says, I love Dr. Darity. Give it up for Lana. I try to tell her, man, some of our Facebook people, they really need to read Dr. Darity. They can stop making them crazy comments. Knowing nothing. Just chipping and chapping and running off at the mouth. Know nothing. Read nothing. Pick up Sean Rochester's Black Tax. The book it's 100 pages. 115 pages. It's small. You can read it. You can learn something. But no, damn it, I don't know anything, but I have a lot of opinions. And damn it, that's good enough for me. Just get away from me with that knowledge. I don't want knowledge. I want to keep my own racist beliefs, my own biased-ass beliefs. That's what I want to do. I want to keep saying things I've heard other people say because it just sounds good. Yeah. Damn it, I don't want to be exposed to new ideas. Not really. I mean, I do, just until they start to infringe on my own sense of identity. Once they start moving me out of my comfort zone, when they start contradicting the bullshit I have in my head, then we got a problem. Yeah. That's what I deal with them, man. But you know what? I'm privileged to be able to do this work because I enjoy it. I actually enjoy what I do. I ain't say it was easy, Johnson. And I've been having to come up with strategies to make sure that I don't lose my cool too much. You know what I'm saying? So, but I love what I do, and I thank you all for making this possible. This ain't possible without you. Without you, this is not possible. Put it that way. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I'm going on and on. Shout out to the people that support the show. Shout out to my Patreons. Shout out to the Tim Black Wolfpack. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here. Don't forget, go to jointimblack.com to join our crew, and go to timblackpulse.com. Follow. And write a review about the podcast. If you write a review and you send me a link to that review, I'll send you 2 free cut the check wristbands. Free cut the check wristbands. But you got to write a review. Writing a review helps us reach more people. That's it, y'all. Much love. See you tomorrow. Where are we here? We okay? Make sure I got all my comments. I'm sorry, I didn't read comments. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. I got to read the damn chat. I'm all ahead of myself. Hold on, guys. Let's start from the top. Okay. Will's up in the house. What's up, Will? Will says, Tim, we're lucky to have you. Will, I'm lucky to have you, brother. Come on now. This is a mutual relationship, man. All of us together here in this place doing what we do, we keep each other going. So thank you, Will. Ty's in the house. What's up, Ty? Natasha Clemens, Deputy Fire Chief in Boynton Beach, suing the city because they depicted her as a white woman. I saw this. I was going to cover it, but I got to read the whole story. How they just going to Photoshop her out the picture? That's some cruddy stuff, man. Wow. I might cover that, Ty. Will. Thank you, Will, for supporting the show. Get what you can, Johnson. That's what's up, Will. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up to all my Johnsons. Will, man, you a big-time supporter, fam. Thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Sheldon Hughes, reparations and cut the check. What's up, Shell? How you doing, fam? Bose Einstein. Tim Scott, qualified immunity must stay forever. Tim Scott's he's another horrible mofo. Oh, I love it when I'm on Facebook and I got some dummy saying, I wish Tim Black would spend some time going after Jim Clyburn. I wish you'd talk more about Jim Clyburn and the Democrats. It's like, damn, dog, do you ever consume my content? Like, ever? How could you go publicly and make such stupid statements? Dude, don't even browse my YouTube. Like, don't even, quick glimpse, like, tap, like that. Like, tap, that's all. It wouldn't take deep dives. It would just take, like, a brief, like, over, just, glance over. Like, damn, he goes after these people. Nothing. Absolutely no time taken at all. It would have took you less time to write that stupid question or that stupid comment. It'll took you less time just to look. Oh, he does fight for us. My bad. Oops. Let me not say anything. Yeah, because instead of, you could say something nice or say nothing at all, but, we don't do that anymore. That was social media. Will, thank you, Tim Black, a.k.a. Johnsons. You are all Johnsons. I'm not the only Johnson. We're all Johnsons. Will, once again, thank you, Will. Bose Einstein, Tennessee MAGA church worshipers are dying, or AR-15 guns for a new civil war, and Q promotes it. AR-15s. Yeah, people like Larry Elder say reparations for slave owners' kids. Please. That's what happens, Johnson. That's what happens. What's up, William McGregor? Thank you, my brother. Will says, please get what you can, Wolfpack. No amount's too small. Thank you. Will, thank you, brother. Whitey 015 Samuel. Thank you, Whitey 015. What up? Louise. Thank you, Louise. Oh, that's nice, Louise. You shout me out, I shout you out. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. And last but not least, Vagana Piranha. Love to the Wolfpack. That's what it is, y'all. Love to the Wolfpack. Love to the Wolfpack. Look at that. I'm in that low range. Hey, people, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Tim Black Show. We're going to have a conversation tonight about the need to destroy both parties. Have no parties and just focus on the people. So much love, Sable. So much love, Sable winners. We got the best callers in the business. We got the best commenters. We got the best politics. We've got the best commercials. I'm Tim Black, and I approve this message. I wish I could sound like this all the time. Then Mrs. Black would be like, why you sweet talking those ladies on that show, Tim Black? And I'd be like, Mrs. Black, I've only got eyes for you, darling. Damn, that's low. That's low right there, boy. I wish I sounded like that when I was younger, man. Didn't happen till I got old. Got this low. Start doing Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman voice. Okay. There once was a time when I was Morgan Freeman. I'd watch the children say stupid things on the internet. And I would listen from time to time how they'd run about, how I'd trip them up and make them fall. Tim Clapper. Will's messing with me. Will, stop, dog. I know Joe. And I know black people. I know black people. I met my wife in prison, and ain't nobody more progressive. I'm the most progressive. Ain't nobody more progressive than me. I'm obsessive. I'm so progressive, I'm obsessive and aggressively progressive. I'm aggressive and possessive. I'm molestive. I'm obsessive, offensive, progressive, obsessive, molestive. Obsessive, progressive, who's festive. I'm offensive, progressive, obsessive, molestive. I'm obsessive, progressive. And we having a fish fry. And when we have fish fry, I know Joe. Is Joe gonna bring tartar sauce? He gonna bring tartar sauce, and that Tim Black's gonna bring cornbread. All right, guys, that's it. Sally Thompson, what's up, sister? Stay strong for the fight, love. I'm out of here. Cut the check. Wolfpack. A lot of times I'm watching like news, or when I'm watching shows in general, they're written by white people. Even when the talent's black, the writers are white. Even when the writers are black and the talent's black, the owners are white. And even when the talent is black and the story is black, the subject matter is black, black. For some strange reason, the most vocal writer is white. And I mean very, very white. And even when the writers are black and the talent is black and the owners are black, those three entities are worried about what white people are gonna say. So, you never really get to hear black people express themselves freely. Really free. And I said, damn, man. TV been lying to me all this time. So the point is, they lie to us too. Not just to us, about us, they lie to us about white people. And white people, they lie to you about black people. And they lie to all of us through the use of Hollywood, through the use of stories, and just plain old fibbery. Okay? So that's all it is. Reason why I tell you, the Tim Black Pause Show, Pause with Tim Black, is where we get to be really black. That's because we don't have to cater to white execs. We don't have to get the approval of white managers and directors. No. We don't have to appease white people. We do it ourselves. Because they don't own it. They don't fucking own it. They don't want you to hear the truth. Get the realest black podcast. Go to timblackpause.com. Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.